Bow wow wow. I don't know if I need a theme song or if I could just say stuff. I don't know. Hey, what's going on? Guys, people that are listening, you may not be guys. You could just be someone else, like a chick, right? A little girl. But what's up? What are you doing? I'm making a podcast. That's what you got to do, right? If you're on YouTube, you got to make a podcast. You can't just have a YouTube for normal reasons. You got to do what everybody else is doing. You can't be original. You can't think any other ways. It's pretty much a path that's set for you, and you got to do that. And that's what I'm doing, you know? I'm tapping out. I'm just giving in right there. So I'm recording this podcast. It's going to be probably about 30 minutes. I don't even know if this audio is good, but I'm standing up right now. That's new. That's not how you do a podcast. You don't stand up and do a podcast, but I'm a stand-up comedian. So I'm going to do a stand-up podcast, right? I mean, you don't just change what you do, otherwise it's not going to be funny. If I sit down and I start eating some chips, or I make a bowl of oatmeal or something, that's not funny. That's just me eating food and then going to be hungry again later because those don't fill you up, right? They should change the name of snacks to get ready to eat and not be full. Get ready to eat again in a little bit. So they should change the name of that. And oatmeal, they should just call that oat instead of the meal part, because that's not, it's not like it has eggs on the side of it. It's just little oat things, like wheat, right? I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna do this podcast like every week, maybe. Yeah, yeah, probably every week, man. I don't have a set day. I'm just gonna randomly throw one out during the week. I doubt it's gonna get any views because no one knows me. No one knows who I am. I'm just some guy on YouTube's and on Twitter with like 6 followers. By the way, follow me on Twitter, you guys. Come on. Come on, what the hell, man? I've got a Twitter. It's like you gotta be famous to be a twat. To tweet the twats on the old Twitter. On the new Twitter, but I say old, so the new old Twitter. That makes sense, I think. I've had this YouTube channel for a while, and it sucks. I keep losing subscribers. I literally see the number. I'm like, oh, sweet, 500. Like 2 months later, it's like 400. And I'm like, they're going away. They noticed. They noticed I don't do stuff. That's fucking sweet. No, but I was thinking about this. I'm just going to talk about random stuff. And eventually I'll get 5 viewers. Then eventually I'll get 10. And I'll get 20 and 30. And before you know it, I'll be at 31. And that is when you got a fan base. A base of fans that are like, hey, I'll watch this. And they listen like 3 seconds and they turn it off. But I got your views, baby. I got your views. What do you got of mine? Nothing. I win. I win that. I win that, and I win other things that you don't know about, that you can't feel, because you're not a winner. You're just a guy on YouTube clicking videos. But, this isn't very funny. I'm sorry. This is stupid. Let's talk about some topics. You gotta clear your throat whenever you talk about topics. When you're sick. When you have a sore throat and you're sick, kind of. Why does everyone want to make podcasts when they're sick? You notice that? They're like, sorry, I got a cold. I got a cold. I'm gonna record this podcast for my archives, and it's gonna be out there publicly forever. I just want people to hear how unprofessional I am, and stuff. They say that. I do. I just did. I was quoting somebody, but I just changed my voice to make it sound like a quote, when really it was just me. I was thinking about doctors. They're a little overrated, right? Doctors. What do they do that's so good? What do they do that's so... I mean, they get paid thousands and thousands of dollars a month. That's cool. That's pretty sweet. But what are they doing for that money? You know, they what do they Google your symptoms to find out what you got? Because it's not them that's figuring out what you got, right? The guy that's, touching your arm, and you're like, oh, he just heard from his school or something that that's what it's like when your arm is broken, so he's telling you. He's just a middleman, and he gets paid thousands of dollars to be the middleman. That's incredible. That's a really good job. Because it's not him taking your blood sample, putting it under the old microscopes, comparing it to other pictures of bacteria, or diagnosing a new thing and how to stop it to find you the cure, like they used to do back in the old days before they had Google Images. Because I'm a visual learner, I go and Google Images. And then people are like, well, they come up with cures and stuff. That's medical scientists, right? It's not doctors. Medical scientists, that's a real thing, right? I don't know. But they're not doing that. I've been to that's why guys don't go to the doctor. They have like a broken leg and they're like, it's broken. And then they don't fucking go. Girls are like, oh my God, you should go to the doctor. He's going to tell you have a broken leg. You need to hear it from him for it to start healing properly. That's how girls are. It's ridiculous. Why do girls... Like, this is the thing, because if you're attractive on the planet, you don't own half the benefits, that you get. They're just handed to you. They're not yours. You didn't earn them, right? So if you're really attractive, you're getting all this free stuff. That's cool, that people like me don't get. I have to earn them. And I gotta be honest, I like earning them. But I think these women that are really attractive need to start earning them. Like, one example is... When you're with your girlfriend and you're sleeping late at night and you hear a racket in like the living room, what do? You ignore it, but your girlfriend wakes you up and she's like, "Oh my God, I heard something. Jason, get up, I heard something." Because that's your name, Jason. Let's change it to Adam, because that makes more sense for me. She's like, "Adam, wake up. Adam Jason." My last name is Jason in the story. So it all comes back. All my jokes connect, right? They're all sequels, or prequels, or the movie that you're watching now. Damn, that's confusing. Anyways, she's like, "Oh my God, Adam Jason. Phoenix." Phoenix is fucking... It turned out Jason was my middle name. Okay, she's like, "Adam, I heard a racket." And I gotta fucking get up and check. Ladies, there's no better way of telling your man that you love him and love his life by sending his tired, sore, I got work in 3 hours and I need some sleep body blindly into the darkness of the living room to fight some killer that may be in your house. Why would you do that? He's in the living room fighting fucking Michael Myers. And you're in the room with the door locked, calling the police. That's stupid. You're just sitting in there like, oh my God, officer, can you guys send some people? My boyfriend's dying. He's fighting a creature. That's stupid. Don't send him out there to step on fucking your kid's toys, because it's your kid. It's not him. You're the one that slept with somebody and had a baby, and he has to raise it, right? And you guys met, and you have like a 2-year-old, and he has like toys everywhere, and he has to go check it out, right? That's ridiculous. And he's in there just like, "Honey, you might want to go," blah, getting stabbed in the stomach or in the throat. But if he got stabbed in the throat, he wouldn't be able to tell you. Like, that's stupid. I say whoever's the more attractive one has to go check it out. You got to start earning these benefits. That's what I'm saying. You got to start earning them. You don't just get them. You don't just get them anymore. So, what else is retarded that I can talk about? I talked about the doctors. Okay, check. Check on the doctors. Check. Stand-up is fun, man. I like being a stand-up comedian. But I also like being a guy that eats food. So I'm kind of battling those. Like, which one do I want to be more? A guy that eats food or a guy that does stand-up comedy? I'd actually go to the comedy clubs, man. I haven't been doing stand-up that long. Well, I started when I was when I was younger. I just turned 20. I was like a week into being 20, and I signed up, and they let me perform, and I went on and I killed. I did really well. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta come back. I'm a prodigy. I'm the Mexican Dave Chappelle, except not really that Mexican. It's just I'm technically Mexican, but I don't give off any Mexican-y vibes, right? So I come back, and I don't write any material because I'm a prodigy. God, it's gonna work out either way because God planned it that way. So I just go on stage and I bomb. That's when you do bad. Is dead silence from wall to wall. And I remember I was like doing Christopher Walken impressions. Like they were just so bad. I was like, wow, song Mill wrong. It's wrong tone. Like it was just so stupid. And I was just bombing so bad. And I remember getting, like, at the very end, I don't know why I said this, because while I was going through a breakup with the girl, and she left me for a dude that's kind of an asshole. That's kind of weird when that happens. So I'm on stage, and I just go, in order to make your girl stay, you got to be kind of an asshole to her, right? You got to be a jerk. And everyone's looking at me like they have no idea what I'm talking about, because, like, the guys, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. My girl loves me when I'm nice. And they only think that because they love blowjobs, right? They want to get laid. So they're not going to be like, that's true, my girlfriend is totally stupid. They're not going to say that because their girlfriend's next to them. So they're just going to be like, I have no idea. And so I'm bombing now because you can't be honest with yourselves. And I said that. And the second I said, you got to be a jerk, man. If you're a jerk, the girls will stay. The girls will stay. And it's just dead silence, and everyone looks at me like I'm a tiny Mexican Hitler rising into power. The lady flashes the light to show that I'm out of time now, so wrap it up. And I go, hey, stop flashing that light, lady. I'm trying to do my stand-up. And everybody busts into laughter. And I go, see, she'll stay forever now. And they bust into laughter again, and I leave with one joke under my belt with laughter. That's fucking terrible. That was the worst. That was one of the worst sets. And then I took a break for like 3 years, maybe 2.5 years. And I came back in May of 2012. And I did really well again. And I was like, well, I got to do it again. I got to go twice because I found out I can only carry up to 1 ounce of comedy. So I came back. And, the second time since my triumphant return. And I did bad again. I was like, but that's maybe the third time. If I would have stuck with it the first time, then the third time that I performed, I did really good. So I was like, I gotta see the trequel, right? Triquel, shit. The third time, that's better. So I went on stage, and I did bad again. I did terrible, and I did bad. Like I had like a 25% success rate when I was doing stand up. Like I would go on stage and I would bomb, and then do great, like the best in the club. And then the next week I'd bomb, and then do the best in the club. Like it was weird because that means that one day they're looking at me going, man, this guy is not going anywhere with this comedy career. And then literally the next week they're like, man, this guy's going to be famous. Like it was ridiculous. That doesn't even make sense. But it makes sense because it exists and it happened. And that's all you need to know. And then eventually I figured out my own style for stand-up. I'm just a smart ass. I'm just a jerk. So I just go in there and I be a smart ass. And I do well. And I do well now. And I haven't bombed in months. So I went from like a 25% success rate to a 100% success rate. And I haven't had a bad set since because I managed to get my delivery down. What's the way you talk? Kind of like a musician. Delivery is like how well they can sing, as opposed to the material is their lyrics. That's kind of a way you can look at it. So if you get material and delivery down, you're most likely going to be a really good comedian. It's just most good comedians, like in a comedy club of like, I will say like 30 comedians, there's most likely only like 5 or 6 that are actually that good. So you're going to have to, if you go to an open mic and there's just a volume of comedians, you're going to see a bunch of battle guys that just aren't good. And a bunch of girls just talk about sex on stage. Because girls think guys are dumb. Right? They just go on stage and they go, I have to talk about blowjobs and stuff. If I talk about how I went shopping at the mall, the guys are just going to be like, duh, duh. You can talk about whatever you want. female comics. You don't need to resort to relating to me. You make me relate to you. That's stand-up. Alright? Bitch. Bitch. Bitch, come bitch, bitch. No, but, girls are funny. Girls are funny, man. There's that thing. Girls aren't funny. Girls aren't... Adam Carolla. My name's Adam Carolla. Girls aren't funny. Yeah, you're stupid. Every voice that I do, I always make the person sound stupider than I am. Because I have self-esteem issues. Right? Like the other day, I was looking in the mirror, and I was like, man, you are just the stupidest fucking loser. You fucking loser. You're so stupid. You were never going to get anything in life. You were fucking... And I believed it, you know? I was just breaking myself down. You're dumb. You're so stupid. And I believed all of it, but it didn't faze me. You know? Like, I was just like, all right then. I just said mean things. And I just went on with my life. I brushed my teeth and stuff. You know, combed my hair. And all that. I don't know if anyone else has low self-esteem out there. My teacher told me this one time. She goes, for those of you that have low self-esteem, I mean, usually have low self-esteem because you think everybody thinks you're shit, right? Either they think you're a loser or that you're not cool. That's pretty much where self-esteem comes. It shouldn't even be called self-esteem. It should be called the other person esteem, because you're really just judging yourself based off of how you think everybody else judges you. And she goes, I think nobody would have low self-esteem if they just realized that nobody is thinking about you. And that was the truth. And then ever since then, I've had low self-esteem, but I walk around like I have high self-esteem. And I talk like I'm the coolest guy. And I'm funny. And I go on stage and I go, shit, I don't care. I don't care if I go on stage and like, this guy cuts his own hair? What a loser. You know, or something. Oh my god, what a loser. Look at that shirt. What, does he work at Target? Yes. Yes, I work at Target. I don't, but... Right? You know? That's how you deal with your problems. You just pretend they're true. My self-esteem is so low, it goes through to the other side. You know, like you're just sitting there, and there's a girl, and you're like, man, if I talk to her, maybe I could bring her home tonight, and we can have ourselves a nice romantic day in the hot tub, and all that shit. You don't need to do that. Just go up to her and be like, hey, I saw you. You want to talk for a minute? And she'll be like, no, why, I guess, or something like that. That's supposed bipolar girl. No, she'll be like, I guess. Like, kind of weirded out, but she doesn't want you to stab her in the throat. Just she's kind of going to go on with it for a sec. Hold on, I got a cough. Done coughing. Alright. She's going to be like, yeah, I guess, you know, because she doesn't want to get stabbed. She doesn't know if you're a psycho. So you're just like, shit. That's how I am. That's real. That's me for real. I'll just look at her and be like, shit. I don't even know what to say. This was stupid. I should have planned this out. And she'll laugh and be like, okay. And I'll be like, well, all right then. And I walk away. That's how I handle all my problems. With all right then. It's the best. That's the best way. If you're ever in an awkward situation, just go, well, all right then. Like you're getting up to leave. It's perfect. It works every time. Like, I even handle bad news that way. Like, why when you're sleeping, you always get bad news? Like, no one ever gives you good news while you're sleeping. You know, you're sleeping and then you get a phone call and you answer it. When you answer it, it's like, you know, you're just like, oh my god, what? She's dead? How? How did she die? Well, she did love doing that. This is tragic. And you yawn, you're like, well, alright then. I think I'm gonna get back to sleep. I'm gonna go not think about that, because I have sleeping to do. Maybe I would cry a little bit if you told me while I was eating my Fruit Loops, right? And my gums are being sliced up by the Fruit Loops. Maybe then I would cry and stuff, but not now. Not because I'm sleepy. I remember when someone told me Michael Jackson, because I'm the biggest Michael Jackson fan. Michael Jackson, he died while I was sleeping. And that was sad, because I was in dream world. And you don't want to go from dream awesome world to real life suckness. And I got a phone call from some guy I barely knew that I talked to like twice, who knew I was a good dancer, and I could dance like Michael Jackson. And he calls me up and he's like, man, your boy's in the hospital. And I was thinking about all my friends. And I was like, shit, which one is he talking about? I hope he's not talking about my best friend. you know? Because then I'd have to go back to sleep on my best friend's death, and that sucks. Hope he's talking about someone I don't really know, like himself. No, but he's like, your boy's in jail. I mean, your boy's not in jail. What am I talking about? He got out of jail. No, he didn't go to jail, right? Michael Jackson never went to jail. Because he didn't do it. He's innocent. No, but he's like, hey, your boy's in the hospital. I think he's dead. He had some heart attack or something. And I was like, oh, shit. I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm just like, shit. And then I'm like, oh, all right then. Thanks, man. And he's like, hey, no problem, man. Keep your head up. And I'm like, all right. And then I put my head down to go to sleep. And then I wake up hours later and I turn on the TV and they're like, Michael Jackson was dead. And I was like, whoops. Shit. Michael Jackson is my boy in this story. He's my boy. And I blew it. Shit. That's a stupid story. Why'd I tell that? That was so dumb. Really, on your first podcast, you're going to tell that? You're going to tell that? That's so stupid. That's so dumb. I'm hoping this podcast goes somewhere. Like somebody watches it and they're like, shit, I like this. I'm going to come back next week. You know? I'm going to put a download link too, maybe. So you can put it on your phone or your iPod or something. And you can listen to it while you're walking around the house. Or maybe you're in your car and you're going to work. Maybe you're a truck driver or something. I know a guy who's a truck driver. And he does that, right? He listens to that stuff. You got nothing else to do, you might as well. And if the person is funny, you might as well listen to it. It might make you go, oh, okay. So that's the way he thinks it is. That's the way he thinks that it is. I was talking about something else. Movies are terrible. You know what's even more terrible? The previews. Remember, they used to be cool. They used to be really cool. Like the Expendables trailer, it didn't do anything. All it did was tell you who was in the movie, and then that guy would say something real quick, and then it'd go to the next actor, and then he'd say something real quick. Right? It was like Jason Statham. And he's like, what do you mean? And then it was like, boom, Jet Li. And you're like, what? What is this movie about? It's about some terrorists or something. And Jet Li's all like, I'm on the mission to find the seeker of the staff. And you're like, that was what you were doing on the last one. But I don't know. I'm going to end this podcast now, guys. Thanks. Subscribe. Thumbs up. And shit. See you guys.